Hey everybody, welcome to Monday. I've had to start this video 3 times because I say Wednesday instead of Monday, and that's because I'm rearranging things this week. I'm going to do Wellness Wednesday today because I want to talk about dealing with anticipatory anxiety, dread, because Wellness Wednesday is the inauguration in the US, and by that point it's too late. So I'm going to do it now because it just seems like a lot of people are anxious about what's going to happen that day. So it makes more sense to do the get through it techniques today instead of on Wednesday, where was that 2 days ago, right? So if you like this sort of content, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Leanna K. In general, I'm going to go easy this week because nerves are raw. I'm not one of these people. If you're new to this channel, I don't chase the algorithm, which is the wrong way to do YouTube, but I just can't justify it to myself to rile everybody up when everybody's on edge. The whole point of covering video games, like making video games my beat, is they're supposed to be happy. They're happy things. You know, what's the point of upsetting people when everybody's on edge? And I really don't care what your politics are about this. I'm not going to talk about the inauguration. I'm going to talk about dealing with anxiety. Now, people sometimes say I'm a worrier. Anxiety and worry are different. Anxiety spins out of control and there's a physiological response. You might notice your hands shaking, your mouth feels dry, your breathing gets more rapid. Just thinking about the symptoms is making my breathing quicken. You might feel your heart racing, all that stuff. It's a physiological response. And the thing they don't tell you about anxiety in that way is that physiological response is what you have to overcome before your brain think good enough to get a more positive outlook. So the first thing you have to do is deal with that physical feeling of anxiety. And long term, eating right, getting enough sleep, limiting caffeine, some people say limiting alcohol, but, it's the rebound on alcohol. It all depends on how alcohol affects you. Alcohol will affect your sleep, so be aware of that. The problem with anxiety is people say, get enough sleep. Well, how can you do that if you can't turn your brain off to sleep, right? You have to get control back over your physiological responses. Regular exercise helps a lot with that. Eating right helps a lot with that. But the most important thing is breathing. This is why we did the Mountain Monday breathing. So it is Monday. So I want everybody to take a big breath, hold it for 3 seconds, and let it out right now. Okay, ready? Breathe in. And out. Now, did you notice even before you let the breath out, your body just slows down? Your body gets calmer. That's a really good trick. You feel yourself being anxious, focus on your breath, be very, very aware. Some people, it helps to imagine the breath going in through your nose, down, into your tummy. Some people even imagine it going down into your toes. The idea is to distract the brain. So you just focus on something other than what's driving you crazy to get a break from it for 5 seconds. So try it. Breathe in and imagine the breath going all the way through you, into your tummy, into your toes. So ready? Breathe in. And out. Now, you shouldn't have been thinking about anything else there. It does take some practice. Some people's runaway thoughts are so runaway that they get to about here and then it's blah, 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 brain goes crazy. It takes practice. Don't give up. Breathing is super important. The next thing I find really helps me, and this may sound weird, but it helps me, is just tell myself affirmatively, I will get through this. You don't want to say something like, don't worry about it. This thing won't happen, because when you're using negative statements, you're actually thinking the thing you don't want to think about, and your brain just knocks off the negative and goes, oh my God, So I will get through this. It'll be okay. Personally, I will get through this, because it'll be okay has turned out not to be true too many times, but I got through it. The nice thing about telling yourself that you'll get through it is every time, but the time you don't have to worry about it anymore, you're telling yourself the truth. It's a factual statement. It is much more likely that you will get through this than not. And it's better to err on that side, because worrying about the alternative isn't going to help you now. You can't do anything about it, right? And as you get better at the deep breaths, I will get through this, or whatever affirmative mantra helps you, just kind of, okay, this has all happened before, this will all happen again, in some way. When you get that down, then you can start doing kind of acceptance exercises, working on figuring out what you can control and tossing out the stuff you can't. This is a major, major, major part of trauma therapy. The whole control thing. Like I said, the thing about, building self-image last week, working out and laying out, these are the things I can control. These are the things I can't control. I'm going to focus on the things I can control. It helps. It probably won't work the first few times you do it. I needed about 4 months before I had faith in the process. We don't have 4 months right now, but hey, it's only a few days. Even if you blow this, use it as practice, right? The first thing you may be thinking right now is, what can I control? Nothing, right? That's nothing. It's completely out of control. That's why you're feeling anxious, right? You can control, for instance, how much you watch the news, how much you search certain stories, whether you have push notifications enabled on your phone. Yes, you can control all of that. Now, some people feel better if they check in. Nothing bad's happened yet, okay. Other people, it becomes a compulsion. It's up to you. You know best what's going to make you feel better. You know best what's going to give you back some sense of control. The other thing you can do is you do have power to prevent yourself. I'm being very careful how I word this, because I don't want a feeling shame. Yes, feeling shaming is a thing. What's feeling shaming? When people shame you for having feelings. We don't do that here. There's a difference between how you feel and what you do about it. You can't control how you feel. You are in control of what you do about it. And people here will be like, no, I'm not. No, I have this condition. Diagnosed with PTSD. Okay. What you learn is your control, your responsibility is getting really good at knowing yourself and preventing that event horizon where you no longer can control your responses. It takes practice. You don't get it right a lot, but every time you do it, it gets a bit better and it gets a bit easier. And that's why there's no time like the present to start. It is okay to walk away from things that are stressing you out. It is essential that if you start feeling overwhelmed, you take a moment. And that moment may be an hour or maybe the rest of the day at first. Now, while you're at work, the rest of the day, not necessarily possible. But, taking that bathroom break usually is. There are some shitty ass workplaces that don't let you do that. Making space for that. If you can take a break at work, just do it. Just get yourself out of the environment that's creating the runaway anxiety. Changes of pace make a big difference. And when you take that break, take those deep breaths, focus on it, imagining it going all the way down and coming all the way back out. The idea is to turn off all those other intrusive thoughts. Tell yourself, I will get through this, or something similar. And then when you feel that sense of equilibrium return, then resume. People may give you crap about this. Fuck them. They are not good people if they are giving you shit for maintaining your center. And yeah, it might be your direct supervisor. It might be your ultimate boss. Just because they have some say over your work situation doesn't mean they own you as a person. But what if I get fired? Then you do. You will get through it, right? And that's not an excuse to throw a fit at work, just totally melt down at work. The purpose of this is to prevent that, right? And if you think of it this way, look, if you don't get your anxiety under control, they're probably going to fire you for cause because you're a lunatic. It's better to take these things. It's better to take these moments. And I mean, if you work in any place with an HR department, you do have some protections, even though a lot of HR departments, exist just to cover the company's ass. If you get in trouble for doing what's right for you, that is not on you. That is on them. What is on you is doing what's right for you so that you can stay balanced. You can stay in control. I don't know if you've seen that Muppet movie. I forget which one it is, but Animal's like, in control. It's joke because Animal, anger management, right? But you do get a sense of control by not losing control. Every time you have a little victory that way, and again, recognize the victories, write that down, something you're proud of, take the moment to celebrate. Even if you hung on for an extra 15 seconds before you got overwhelmed by anxiety, that's progress. And that's the thing a lot of people don't do. They just want to be better. It's all about destination, right? Instead of recognizing that is increments. That is, okay, I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. Repeat every day. And it may only be this much better, but it's still an improvement. That is the only way to get there. The only way through is through. And that may seem scary right now because you're overwhelmed. But as you tame that sense of overwhelm, the only way through is through becomes you'll get through. And, you're not necessarily going to get through in a way you like, but you'll get through. And the sun will come up tomorrow, right? Unless there's an eclipse. If you live, in Lapland or way up in Canada, no, the sun may not come up tomorrow because you've got those periods of 24 hours of darkness. But again, for most people, that is accurate. And I'm joking because a sense of humor helps me. Depending on what it is, there's certain things I'm just not in the mood for when I'm stressed. But managing that stress is really important because it does have a real physiological impact on your body. I want you to stop thinking about this issue as mental health and start thinking about it as physical health, because it is. If you're constantly in a state of stress, if your pulse is always up, if you're constantly having trouble catching your breath, if you feel like your heart's racing all the time, that's not good for you. All that stuff that's causing that physiological response, it will make you sick if it remains unchecked. So stop thinking of it as you being damaged or you being messed up or you being weak, and start thinking of it as a health issue, a physical health issue that needs to be treated. Now, again, medication is one way to treat it. Some people like me, a lot of people are drug resistant, so I didn't have that option. Also, some people find that anti-anxiety meds can make them kind of loopy. So obviously it's better to try these first. And especially if, it's understandable to feel anxious about the upcoming inauguration. That probably got mentioned. Oh my God, you start feeling stressed again, right? We got to calm down feeling stressed again. It's okay to feel that way. Go easier on yourself. Go easier on other people for the next couple of days. I'm a hard charger, right? You guys know that. Even I'm easing up this week because it's the right thing to do. So one of the tricks here is to stop thinking, oh, I'm so weak, oh, I'm so messed up, I'm so screwed up, I'm sick, all that stuff, and start thinking about it as, I'm being responsible. Because that's the truth. The truth is, you're most likely not sick in an incurable way. You either lack personal boundaries or people fed you a really crummy narrative about yourself or life. That's not your fault. It's your burden to bear. It's your responsibility. But you did nothing wrong there. You just have to, board up the windows and doors from that hurricane that put you in that spot. And there are ways. So I just ask you to try it. See if it works. See if it doesn't make you feel even the tiniest bit better. Let's try it again. Breathe in and imagine it going all the way through. Ready? Breathe in. And out. I'm going to get through it. You're going to get through it. There's nothing we can do except be humans. And so this might not be the week to start that new project. And that's responsible. That's not being lazy. This might not be the week to have that difficult interpersonal conversation. That's not being cowardly. That's being responsible. Your primary responsibility to yourself is to maintain your equilibrium and communicate that that's what you're doing. And if you're doing that in good faith, if anybody negatively judges you for that, that is on them, not you. There are some people in this world who cannot stand it when other people have their shit together. And the nice thing is that those people will make themselves make themselves clear to you as you start doing more healthier practices. And so you can identify them and get them out of your life. And we'll talk about that in another video, because that personally was terrifying to me. Cutting people off, I thought the sky was going to fall. But I got through it. And you come out the other side and I'm better for it. So you'll get through it. Just deep breaths. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. It's only 2 and a bit more days now, guys. That's it. And then what will be, will be. And what will be, will Be existence. You know, catastrophic thinking is something for another time, but that's why you got to stop the thoughts. That's why you got to focus on the breath. Just take some deep breaths. I'll get through it. Real simple steps. Try it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it works for you or what adaptations you make to that affirmative statement that work for you. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching. Deep breaths.